Good afternoon, all. My topic is ORRT for PPH. I think there will be some persons who are not familiar with the term ORRT. ORRT is Obstetric Rapid Response Team. So rapid response systems or rapid response teams actually identify deteriorating patients and take prompt interventions so that potential adverse outcomes can be avoided, especially cardiac arrest and death. So what is the importance of ORRT in obstetrics? Obstetrics, we all know, emergencies are unpredictable and maternal mortality and morbidity occurs mainly due to delay in a timely help and lack of trained support. So ORRT team, the key players are trained nurses who will help us in deteriorating clinical situations like hypotension, respiratory failure, cardiac failure, or altered consciousness. Other key players are anesthetists and obstetricians. So one of the team member of the ORRT should be present in the hospital 24/7 and they should respond to the scenario immediately. And what is the mechanism of alerting the team member? As you know, in JCI or NABH accredited hospitals, we have the public address system for various codes. Code blue is very much familiar, that is cardiac arrest, but there is a code purple for patient deterioration. Suppose if you are not having a public address system, other options are phones with speed dials. Actually, we have some customized codes like code 1 for maternal collapse and code 10 for crash CS. Actually, if, for example, if you alert a code 10 for crash CS, immediately the labor OT staff, anesthetist, and the neonatologist rushes to the labor room so that the decision to delivery interval can be kept less than 15 minutes. So actually in Kerala, there is a government order stating that any hospital with a labor room should have an ORR team. And in each district, we have nodal training centers, and it is actually a one-day training program, which is scenario and work-based. Actually, coming to the role of ORRT in PPH, we'll come to a scenario that is the patient has recently delivered and she's bleeding profusely. She is conscious, her pulse is 110 and BP is 80/40, and the rapid response team is alerted. So the main role of an ORRT team member is in the arrest of bleeding and prevent patient deterioration. I'm not going into the details of arrest of bleeding. Only thing is that an ORR team member should be trained in bimanual compression, transvaginal application of uterine artery clamps, suction cannula, and tamponades. Now coming to preventing patient deterioration, which I will be more focusing, that is in PPH, patient deterioration is prevented by either preventing hypovolemia from occurring or the proper management of hypovolemia. For that, the key determinant is getting an intravenous access. So there are certain technical aspects when we go for an intravenous access. First of all, I will play the video later. First of all, choose a vein that is less tortuous and almost raised. Avoid joints, especially the wrist, and apply a tourniquet just 3 to 4 inches above the vein that is selected. Now, when you hold the cannula, hold it with the index finger and the middle finger on the wings and posteriorly stabilize the cannula with your thumb. And this is a side view. Insert the cannula at an acute angle to the skin. Then once you insert, you see the first flash of blood in the posterior chamber. Once you see that the cannula is in the vein, then gently retract the stellate or the needle, then only advance the cannula further. When you withdraw the stellate, you can see the second flash of blood coming in the cannula. And once the cannula is in place, occlude the cannula not by holding over the cannula, only at the tip of the cannula. Sometimes it may not be possible to get an intravenous access easily. Then there are other alternatives like going for an intraosseous access. Intraosseous needles are actually, next slide. Intraosseous needles are actually short and stout needles. Usually you can insert the intraosseous access either through machine guns or by manually. First of all, the usual sites are the proximal tibia, proximal humerus, or the iliac crest. The proximal tibia is an easier one because over the shin. The skin is just under the tibia, and you can easily access the intraosseous route. So first we give a local infiltration, that is 1% lignocaine to the skin and the periosteum. Then you identify the site, that is first identify the tibial tuberosity. 2 finger breadth below it is the site. Hold the intraosseous needle perpendicular to the bone. Introduce it in a twisting movement. Initially, there will be a great deal of resistance from the bony cortex. Suddenly, you will feel the loss of resistance once you are into the medullary cavity. After that, introduce the aspirate the content and see whether you are getting the bone marrow aspirate. Then instill the saline into the cavity. It should go freely. It is not easy for every hospital to get facilities for intraosseous access. Then the only option that is left behind if you are not getting an intravenous access is to go for a venous cut down. Next slide. Okay, for venous cut down, the preferred veins are the cubital vein and the great saphenous vein. The great saphenous vein is easily accessible just anterior to the medial malleolus. First of all, try to palpate the vein. This is a model. Try to put a transverse incision over the vein, that is 1 centimeter incision over the vein transversely. With the mosquito forceps, separate the overlying tissue, connective tissue from the vein, and try to lift up the vein with the mosquito forceps. After lifting up the vein with the mosquito forceps, pass either a 2-0 or a 3-0 catgut under the vein, which is a doubled up thread. That is, a doubled up thread is passed under the vein using mosquito forceps, and the thread is cut into 2 pieces, and the distal end is tied first. That is, the distal end that is towards the foot is tied, and following that, the strings are pulled to facilitate easy visualization of the vein. And with an iris scissors, a V-shaped nick is put on the vein. Iris scissors, a V-shaped nick will be put on the vein, and the cannula will be inserted. Cannula, the stillet of the needle has to be removed before inserting the cannula, and the cannula alone is inserted after putting the incision on the vein, and then the proximal thread is tied. After getting the intravenous access, next most important step is giving adequate fluids, and if there is a BP fall, you have to go for inotropic supports, which will be dealt by my next speaker. Next. Okay, so to conclude, ORRT is a must for all hospitals with labor room, and they play a crucial role in reducing the maternal mortality and morbidity. Thank you.